Hello, everybody. Happy almost December and happy almost solstice, right? I know you're probably like, oh my God, no, you're bringing this up early. Yes, I am, because next week I want to share my review video for Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Ebert. And then the week after that, I will do my wrap up. And for those that are like, but Nora, that was not one of the books you picked. Yes, I just decided to randomly read it, and one of my patrons did request for me to do a book review, because that is one of the perks I offer to a certain level of patrons that I have, whereby you get to pick a book that you like me to do a book review. And Kat was like, "Oh, I would love to see you review Talia Ebert's attempt at a first attempt at a YA novel." And I know this was nominated for one of the Goodreads awards, so I'm really excited about it. I would love to share my thoughts. Speaking of Patreon, if you would like to support my channel and like to support me in any way, you can come support me on Patreon. For as low as $1, you get to participate in everything we do. We have weekly reading sprints. You will not have voting power, because that's goes for some of the higher tiers, but you will be able to participate in everything. So our weekly reading sprints, our monthly hanging session on Discord, our monthly movie nights, and depend on what level you choose, you can get some extra benefits and extra perks. So you can so if you would like to support me and support my channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. I have been told that I am creating a community where people feel accepted and seen, and just being comfortable, being able to be comfortable with who they are and just like expressing themselves. And just hearing that brought me so much comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. I cannot help it. It's almost Yule, and I do love Christmas songs. So, but yes, as I was saying, just hearing that brought me so much joy, and it was very comforting to know that I am able to create that, because like it's just great. It's just great, of course. So please feel free, come join us. Be a part of this community that I'm trying to build. It would help me immensely. My like the link to my Patreon is in the description bar. So check out the description bar, check out my Patreon, see whichever of the different what is that word? Levels? Should I consider it levels? I think. I don't know. Yes. Let me go for levels right now, because no other word is coming to mind. But look at the different levels, see which one of them is most convenient for you. You know, that you're perfectly fine with, and come join our community. We love meeting new people and bringing new people to the fold and having those conversations. Okay, so you're here to see what book I'm going to be reading in December. So first, we knock out some of those energies. As I was saying, it's always it is so big. This actually is making it easier for me to shuffle my much smaller tarot cards and oracle cards, because I'm like, I just have a question for Fairy Loop. Like, why make them this big? They could have made smaller shaped, right? Smaller shaped what do I call it? Tarot cards, right? Because for example, I know that the one that Faye Crate did was much smaller, and that would have been great. But I'm not looking at gift horse in the mouth, because this is actually teaching me. I thought my old tarot deck was like big and bulky until I started shuffling this on my girl. Nah, that is a baby. But yeah, so it would be great to see um what books can I read. Like, it would be fun. I want to read something cozy and warm and romantic and family, something centered around family, something centered around the rebirth, right? Rebirth, because it's Yule. um you know uh Something about taking the time to rest, right? Taking the time to rest, because once again, it is also you. So it will be great. I just need 3 cards, because as you all know, it's 3 cards, 3 books, including the book I'm already reading on Patreon, for our monthly body read. So let me see. Something that fits the message of you. um, that fits the messages of the season, but also something that would be comfy and comforting and just amazing, because this year has been quite the year, right? Quite the year. And it would be fun to just like have it like, end well on a great note. On a great note, right? So let's see. Ah, okay. It is hard. It is hard shuffling her. Okay. Oof. They almost spilled. They almost spilled. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Every day I'm shuffling. Do, 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 do. Like, so, come on. I'm not the only one that was dancing and grooving to party rockers, right? Like, I'm not the only person. One card has dropped. Wow. One card has dropped already. Okay. First card. We have 5 of 1 so far. Okay. Party rockers in the house tonight. Everybody gonna have a good time. Oh, the Emperor. Yeah, for those that are like that face, it's Resand. So, oof. Hold up. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Ah. Would you look at that? Page of Swords. Which, it's Lahaba. It seems like a lot of she who must not be, who we are not talking about, because Sarah, why? Can you also tell that my mind is still on Palestine? It's always going to be on Palestine because fuck settler colony states. That's all I'm gonna say. But yes, so I have 5 of Wands, then the Emperor, then Page of Swords. Even though this is not the Page of Swords I'm used to. So for those that are new and wondering exactly how tarot picks my cards, what I basically do is I shuffle the cards. The first 3 cards that pop out, because I'm learning how to read tarot and I'm learning to interpret the cards, they are basically a way based off of my understanding of traditional tarot, and maybe if these are characters from books I've read or they're characters I recognize and I'm familiar with, then it's a great way for me to be like, okay, this character is like this. Combine that with what I know of the cards. What, based off of the messaging of that, what book should I read? Like, what books should I read that would fit the different cards that I've pulled out? So starting with 5 of Wands, this is gotten from Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. If any of you watched my last TBR video for November, you know that this was one of the books I picked. And this is Eden. This is Eden, magician, turns into a hawk. You can see that from here. So I think of Eden more of, that person that is supporting you, but likes to pretend that they are not, when actually they are on your side. They just like to pick on you a little. Like, so it finds her interesting. It's kind of pulling her pigtails, but at the same time is also like, I wonder what she plans on doing. And rather than exposing her, is like, do you know what? I'm going to say this to the finish and I'm going to help you, even though it's not going to be very obvious at the start. So this 5 of Wands, especially now in the traditional deck, it seems like, these 3 people are fighting and they have 5 wands in between them. And I always interpret that card as, playful fun, because the stakes, they're not going as hard. If you zoom in on the faces if you look intently on the faces of the different characters with the wands, it seems more like they're doing it for sport rather than them really meaning any actual harm. So maybe rivalries, that's what I get, but like friendly rivalry. So and considering that this is tagged, like this has Eden's face on it, I would say for 5 of Wands, I'm going to pick a book whereby the protagonist finds support in an unlikely ally that previously or at the start of the book they think have it out for them, but you find out that this partner is actually kind of like their partner in crime, and they're in their corner but there will be a lot of verbal sparring. So I need a book where the characters like verbally spar a lot. Not in a hurtful way, but they spar verbally. You get it? You get it. And then there's the Emperor card that has Rizan's face in it. For this card, I would say that I'm going to go with a book with a character that seems otherwise stern, one with like authority, but also gives like really like, because the Emperor for me rules over rational thought, but like basically rules over structures that have been put in place, whereby without any rules and without order, there is everything falls apart. This person is like, this is how things are meant to be, these are the rules that should be followed and maintained. So traditionally, the Page of Swords is meant to represent somebody who is starting off on a journey, you know, usually one where, because I think of swords and I think of intellect and clarity of thought. So somebody who's gotten the clarity of thought and they're, you know, they figure things out, they've thought things through, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to go on this adventure, I'm ready to start. So they are relying very heavily on like their logical thinking, even as they are going on the journey. But when you consider the fact that this Page of Swords, it has Lehaba on it, for those that are like, who the fuck is Lehaba? It is from Sarah J. It's from Sarah J. Maas. You all can tell that Fairy Loot, when they put together this tarot deck, were really into Sarah J. Maas because they're characters from all her 3 series. This is from Sarah J. Maas. From her Crescent City series, Lahaba is a sprite. But her journey was less of her starting her journey, but more of she was the impetus. She was the ignition point to start another character, Bryce, on her journey. So it was from Lehaba thinking, how can I be of service? How can I help Bryce in this fight? She makes a decision and sets things in motion. So even though technically what she does kick off Bryce's journey, like that is like the tail end of Crescent City is when we really get into who Bryce is and what she's meant to serve in the ongoing story. And Lehaba, although not the one going on the journey, is the one that starts off the next character on the journey. She lights the torch in a way, and she does that with the clarity of thought. So I would say for this, I am picking a book with a character that, because I'm not going with the traditional deck meaning, I'm going with this meaning in this particular deck. I would say that as the Page of Swords, I need a book with a character that starts off our main character on their journey. So it has to be Gandalf showing up at the Shire to Frodo and being like, I'm about to start you off on an adventure. So that is how I'm going to be interpreting this particular Page of Swords with regards to Lahaba. So now to look at the books that fit this prompt. So I have picked out the books. Now I know if I was going to the order in which the cards came out, 5 of Wands should be first, but there's a reason why I'm not putting it first just yet, because I need yours advice and I'll get to that in a bit. But for the Emperor, I said I was going to pick a book with a character that either lays down the law or basically enforces the law, right? Because the Emperor is all about laws and rules to govern society and how things are meant to work, and your expectation is that anybody that steps out of line with regards the Emperor's directive would cause, you know, everything else to fall apart. Now, I am certain that the reason why Rhysand is the face of the Emperor for this card is because, you know, is the High King of the Night Court. So that's it. So I and usually when I think of the Night Court, I think like when I think of people's perception of the night court, like those outside of the Night Court, they think, oh, these people are scary, these people are evil, these people are wicked, these people are this, these people are that, unaware that it is the rules and the laws that have been put in place that is enforced by the by, you know, the inner circle and by Rhysand himself that is helping to keep them safe. And so therefore the book I picked for this is going to be Scythe by Neal Shusterman. Like basically the whole point is the Reapers exist in order to maintain a balance in society, right? And so if it is that they do anything that shifts that balance, society as it exists as they know it could crumble. There are the commandments that, they must maintain: thou shalt kill with no bias, bigotry, or malice aforethought, thou shalt grant an annum of immunity to the beloved of those who accept your coming, thou shalt kill the beloved of those who resist. So these are very strict rules, and it is up to the Scythe to maintain it. It's up to the Reapers to maintain it. So I think that because of the fact that there is an enforcing of law, and that is what they represent, I think it's a great pick for, personally for me. I think it's a great pick for the Emperor, because right, it's all about the price of a perfect world. Somebody has to pay the price. Also, for those that are like, Noria, you've never read Scythe. No, I've never read Scythe. This will be my very first ever attempt at reading a Neal Shusterman novel. And I've had Scythe on my shelf for like almost 5+ years. So this is yet another good thing about the cards. But also, like I mentioned, like Yule is about death, right? It's about, things are laying on the ground to rest. So the fact that I pulled a book, I'm picking a book that represents death. And like, it wasn't until this exact moment, as I'm having this conversation, that I realized how Scythe is connected to Yule and death. Like, I did not think about that before. This just happened to happen, right? Next, like I said, I'm going to be doing Page of Swords, and I said that the way in which I'm interpreting this card is that there's another character who then sets off our main character on this journey of whatever it is that they're meant to discover. And the book I'm picking for that is The Devourers by Indra, right? This book, so just like with Page of Swords, right, for this book there's some person that Alok, our lead character, who's a professor somewhere in India, she meets this person who basically tells her this extraordinary story, and that story is the impetus. This person that she meets and the story they tell her is what propels her to take on this task off of the stranger, is request. She basically starts transcribing these old manuscripts and books. Some of them are written using living skin, like living skin. And in telling this story and in transcribing this story, she basically discovers this race of peoples that have evolved into this sort of more animalistic desires, and the story of the woman who defies them. Like, it just sounds like she gets to go off on this crazy ass adventure because of a chance meeting with somebody who spurs that spark. And I think that it is perfect for, like, the Page of Swords based off of Haba. I think this is a perfect fit. And finally, Five of Wands. I already mentioned that the old basis was to pick a book that involves like two rivals sparring. Like, there's a lot of sparring in it, and the other, like, the main characters has always assumed that this other person doesn't like her, or is looking at her with suspicion, and like cannot understand why this person she's sparring with is somebody that's actually willing to help her, right? And then of course romance blossoms because it's Eden. So here is why it took me a while to decide, because I have two book options, and this is where I'm going to throw it out to you. If you're watching this video, please let me know in the comments which of these two books I should read instead. First, there's Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I have still never read any of Ali Hazelwood's books, so this will be a first if I do decide to read it. Basically, you have Olive. Yeah, it's Olive. By chance, for a certain reason, kisses the professor that nobody else gets along with, who everybody considers a dick, Adam. Right, she kisses him by chance, thinks that is all, says she needs help, he agrees, and next thing you know, he's actually helping her in ways that just keeps confusing her, because she's like, holy shit, like, why are you helping me, but also, why the fuck am I attracted to you, right? And then of course there's all the sparring, so the verbal sparring, I think. But yeah, so it's either The Love Hypothesis or Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola, because I already told you all, like, this third option is going to be a romance, right? So Honey and Spice, you have Kiki, right? It's Kiki who needs the help of the campus playboy that she has already lambasted and cannot stand, Malachi. And like she needs to form like a fake relationship with him, and they have all of this banter and all this back and forth, and the whole basis is like she's like, oh shit, right? Because then the emotions start creeping in, and she's falling for the campus heartbreaker that she, as somebody who has been on campus radio, has been warning people to stay away from, because she's like, this motherfucker, I do not trust this fucking ass. He is trash. And now she's falling for trash, and she's been bantering with trash, and she's attracted to trash. And like, which of these two books should I read? 5 of Wands, right? So those are the picks based off of what it is that you all pick. For me, kind of like the way in which a lot of you all wanted me to read Spin the Dawn, and that was what I picked instead. That is the same thing that's going to be with this. So let me know in the comments which one you pick, Love Hypothesis or Onion and Spice. And yes, that would be my TBR for December. I have, like I've told you all, I have other videos planned, so keep an eye out for that. Also, yes, that's the thing. Also, Patreon. I'm also going to the last book I'm reading in December is also our Patreon pick. We're reading The Center by Ayesha, Manazir, Siddiqi, and it is just delightfully, like, this is the everyday cover that everybody knows, but this is the cover we collectively like on Patreon because it's so deliciously creepy. So every week when we're talking about it, this is the cover we're focused on because it's just so weird. Yeah, this weekend we're going to be wrapping things up because we tend to take breaks in December for like the last 2 weeks in December just to spend more time with family. But movie nights, all of the other things are coming up. Oh shit. It just occurred to me. After this video, after I'm done filming this video, I need to put up the post for movie night because movie night is meant to be this Friday. And even though like they've nominated the movies we should watch, I forgot to put up the post. Shit. I need to put that up today so that we can make plans to watch it together this Friday. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Yes, remember The Center by Ayesha, Manazir, Siddiqi. It is just deliciously creepy and weird and just you just go like but also in the best of ways, because I do like books about translators. And before anybody asks, no, I have still not read Babel yet, even though I do have Babel. I have read Yellowface. I read Yellowface on Patreon, like with people, members of my Patreon. I might do I'm not sure, should I do a review? Because it's been a while. It's been a while. There are a lot of books I actually read this year with people on my Patreon that I didn't talk about on the channel. Sorry for that. I guess I'm sorry. But yes, so The Center is just deliciously creepy and so weird and just written so fantastically well. You're just like you just get hooked and drawn into this world, but you also like all your alarm bells are ringing and you want Anissa to be, girl, are you okay? Should you not be running? Should you not be running? So those are the thoughts that come into my head. But anyway, yes, that is it. That's what we're reading on Patreon. So those are all the books I'm going to be reading in December. Like I said, please look out for my book review, which will be my next video that'll be up. And then after that, I'm going to do a wrap up of the books I read in November. And after that, I will probably do a video of the books I'm looking forward to reading in 2024. The movies I'm looking forward to watching. The same thing with TV shows, anime, manga. You know the drill. But yes, I will see you in my next video. Please, if you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. If you're not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate the support. And if it is that you would like to support me on Patreon, like I said, for as little as $1, it does like wonders. It is so fucking helpful. So if you like to support me on Patreon and join the community I'm building on Patreon as well, please consider doing so. The link to my Patreon is in the description bar. And yeah, I will see you all shortly, soon, very soon. Bye.